back with you. Let's blow up the reactor so they can shoot the Death Star.
Nice. So this is the 1981 album with Crazy Horse and Neil Young, of course.
You might not know what I just meant if you haven't watched Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Fair enough.
Good reference.
So this is with Crazy Horse, and I was just checking. This is the first album that's pure Crazy Horse. There's no other contributions from anyone else. It's Neil Young, Frank Sanpedro, Ralph Molina, and Billy Talbot. And it ushers in the 80s, following Hawks and Doves, which was sort of... It made sense. That made sense in the previous context to what he'd done. This album makes no sense to Neil Young's previous work.
No, but it does have two weird tracks on it. Opera Star, but T-Bone's even weirder. Let's tell you about both tracks. Opera Star is the first song. It's actually pretty good, but let's see.
Yeah.
The lyrics, he says, ho, 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 ho.
Sunny labels. So the funny thing is that this album has some very, shall we say, primitive
but first, let's talk about
tossed
Opera
off.
First, let's talk about Opera Star.
Yeah, so there's actual chorus is just him going, ho, 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 ho. And it's pretty funny.
And it has,
Go ahead.
He always says you were born to rock, and there's a curse in it.
He does curse in this song. Unbelievable.
Surprising.
But the chorus, I like that the chorus is actually printed out. Ho, 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 ho.
Yes, like Santa.
Yeah.
Come on, Neil Young, are you Santa?
So this album, it sounds like Neil Young and Crazy Horse have gone like a bar band, gone...
State Fair band.
But now let's talk about T-Bone.
Gone nuclear, kind of, like boogie bar band, but like mutant-like. It's a really strange sound.
Let's talk about T-Bone now. That's 9 minutes of
some really inventive lyrics on that, right?
9 minutes.
T-Bone consists of got mashed potatoes.
And ain't got no T-Bone.
Got no T-Bone.
And it's that repeated for 9 minutes. And
yes.
With not much else, they just sort of drive that rhythm into the bone. And he repeats the same solo. It's like his patented sort of one note. He just sort of does a guitar bend for like a minute and then does it again.
In a different language, he puts chorus répétiteur.
That's hilarious, yeah. So he's got the printed lyrics, mashed potatoes and T-bone are printed on there, and then up here he says chorus repeat or répétiteur.
And this is a quote in what is it?
This is
It's the Serenity Prayer.
Serenity
it's
Prayer
in Latin.
in Latin.
It's from Saint
Latin,
Francis
Latin.
of Assisi.
Would you like to repeat it, Miss Cameron, if you can?
To say it in Latin?
No.
Oh, I can't. It's God grant me the strength to change the things I can, the peace to the things that I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. Something like that.
I always meant to look this up, but what's the circle?
It's a good question.
Let's see.
No, it's kind of a strange spiritual sort of thing.
This album, I
was wondering if he was in the program. That's what they say in Alcoholics Anonymous.
And what about the cover? Just
That's odd.
There's so many odd things about this record. What
do you think of that cover, Silas?
Just plain, like Re-ac-tor. That's the thing of this album. You got Opera Star, Surfer Joe, and Moses.
Oh, does he break them all up like that?
Get back on it. Southern Pacific, Motor City, Rapid Transit, and Shots.
Talk
a little bit about Rapid Transit, Sally. I know you like that one a lot.
Okay? So, that is a song that he's, goofy.
He's doing all kinds of weird stuff.
They're all spelled out. Rapid Transit.
Meltdown.
What was this one? Containment.
So, like, it's literally him saying, or...
Yeah, it's like a weird stinger.
Also, what I think is weird is go!
Yeah, he starts yelling, go! In the middle of the song. I don't know, was he not doing too well? Was he really feeling just like he
stuff happening.
Reached his wit's end and just wanted to just not even think too much about this album, just sort of make it quick?
He's having fun on this album.
I don't know if he was having, like, if he was in a good place, if he was, like, in a great spirit, but it sounds like the band is having fun on this album in some respect.
Yeah, but it might be the kind of fun, like, when a kid's overtired and they're just sort of shooting sparks.
Manic?
Yeah. Maybe more manic than fun.
He was, like, I don't know, 30-something?
He was about 35, 36, something like that.
Because this is 1981.
Some heavy stuff going on in his life, though, with his son.
Yes, his second son, born with cerebral palsy.
Get back on it, as I mentioned in our last two videos, actually. That is,
what'd you think of that one?
That one is not maybe it's the weakest one on the album.
Well, but
I'm with you. But actually, I disliked it more the first time I heard it, and the second time I found it to be almost a little bit charming.
My favorite song is, well, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I really like Surfer Joe and Mow the Sleeves. That song, I kind of feel has sort of some callbacks to his previous sort of songs, but it's done with this sort of layered on like filth. It's like the best way I can put it.
What's funny is I think we heard the record one time. I actually remember.
It's very go ahead.
There was lyrics, but I definitely do not remember him cursing in that song.
Me neither.
It stands out there. It's a very crude. It's a crude sound. It's a very like it's highly trebly. Like it's not like a pretty album by any respect.
No.
It's gnarly is like one word I would say. It's like a hard rock album. And who would have thought he would have come out with this in 1981? Who else was singing 9 minutes about mashed potatoes?
Minus 5 probably did a shorter version, right?
Oh right, you found out that the -5 band covered.
They covered
T-Bone.
T-Bone?
Yes, and it's, I don't know, they did like 6 minutes. I don't know.
The question is this good?
Well, I'd say it's one of the better ones in the 80s, following Trans, our next episode.
But up until right now, I'm saying, is this good based on what we know before this? Not talking about what we're going to do, you know what I'm saying? What else? I like Get Back On. It's sort of a, again, I used this last time, or with the Rust Never Sleeps a bit, dumb. It's just like kind of a dumb blues song, but it's something endearing about it.
Back on it?
He likes the dumb blues song.
Yeah.
Get Back On It?
Yeah.
Motor City, this is one of his early songs about cars and,
That's
talking
right.
about the quality of cars.
Big Fork in the Road.
Oh, and Shots we should talk about.
Yes.
We were just reading, apparently he performed this as a ballad. I can't imagine. We'll have to look that up and see if we can find it. But Shots is really chaotic. The fuzz and the sort of... I wonder if this is the start of Neil Young's Whizzer. We're going to have to insert stuff about the Whizzer.
Yes, Shots is Whizzer, big Whizzer on it.
Super crude fuzz sound on it, and like...
It's 8 minutes.
It sounds like there's some other sort of weird sounds going on
Yes.
with it.
It's 8 minutes, though.
Making some shooting sounds on there at the
Yeah,
end.
like there's like military
It is
sounds,
8
like
minutes long,
machine
right?
guns or something.
It is 7 minutes and 42 seconds, but
It's a long song.
Oh,
Yes.
the last thing I wanted to say that I just read, this is the first use of him using an instrument called the clavier, which is some kind of digital synthesizer, which would have a bigger effect on his next album, right? Which is what?
well, next album is Trans.
Right, so that instrument, I
Much
guess he
of
was
that-
using on this, but this just sounds like a real gross hard rock album, really.
Yes.
Not gross, I mean that endearingly. Shaky, Silas.
So
Curious what you're going to say here.
Well, I just have a one bonus thing to say. I actually have been talking a lot about Neil Young, like right at this time, because we're doing this Quarantine Hearts. And lately, I've been finding about this album called Greendale, which we'll get to later in 2003, right? It's I haven't really heard it, neither has Dad. But
I've never heard Greendale.
Yeah, but it was a big release for him. Apparently, we'll talk about it in that
That's
video.
22 years off
22 years off, though. Yes.
from this.
Yes.
Lots
So,
of ground to cover.
what
So
do
what
you
do you
think?
think about this one? What are you rating this?
Well, this is gonna be higher for the 80s. I don't know, 7.5.
Not bad. In my head is 7 for this album. I have to say, as much as it sounds like we're praising it, it's kind of a hard one to come back to. It's kind of harsh. And it does sound like 1981. But there's something about it. There's something like why the decisions he made on this album are sort of confounding, and that sort of intrigues me about it. That said, if I'm listening to Neil Young, I don't know that I pull out Re-ac-tor as much. But a good album, I think.
I'm also 7 shakies on this.
7 shakies.
Mostly because I think it's funny. It's very entertaining.
It's absurd. In a way.
It's totally absurd, but I think it's really entertaining. Like,
It is.
I also agree. I don't think if I'm ever gonna pull a Neil Young record to listen to, I'm not gonna be like, let's hear Re-ac-tor.
Yeah.
But it
If it's
totally
on.
was entertaining, and I genuinely love T-Bone.
T-Bone.
That's a great song. It's so funny.
Ain't got no T-bone.
How about
got
Opera
mashed
Star?
potatoes.
Oh, that was a good time.
I like
too.
Opera Star.
All right,
like,
so
I like Crazy Horse chiming
we
in
do
the
have some
background.
people
Yeah,
to
they go,
thank, right? Some people who have been engaging and enjoying,
Yes, but
or
before
maybe
I
not
say
enjoying.
that,
Who knows? But engaging.
I'd like to say thank you for bringing me the thank you. It's
Oh.
JT Tompkins
Oh.
for bringing me this boogie board, fancy
The
one,
bougie board.
a
Yeah.
bougie board, and these are the thank yous I would like to give. thank you, Grandpa Toby.
Check.
For
Well, he always listens, right?
I think I've had the FaceTime or something with you. I had a call, but you said you've not watched Homegrown yet. Maybe you have watched it, yeah, since we have some new videos now. I'd like to thank Dark Mark. This goes way back to Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like, give me a shout out.
He did. He wants that shout out.
Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. Yes, yes, I will shout you out. Thank you for commenting on that and Zuma.
Yeah.
You commented a bunch on Zuma.
All right.
But I remember you saying one thing funny, that we should, Accidental Sons should do a Cortez the Killer cover with Silas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll consider it.
Pretty hard. And thank you, AP Mike from The Best Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some real opinions. He didn't like our opinions on Comes a Time.
No. He didn't.
I know. I remember him saying in the So Far show
Is
that
he listening?
that was a big one for him early on.
Yeah. Who else we got?
Yes, but this we did not know that you would comment on our videos, but I saw that you commented on Decade for the first time. John M, which is John.
Yes, he's been a friend of mine. We used to play in a band together.
What's his name?
John M. We're going to leave off last names.
He had some good insight on Rust Never Sleeps and on the Yellow Hand connection.
Yes, he did.
And Chris P.
Another friend of Uncle John and Mark's.
Yes.
And ours.
He was really appreciating.
I was thinking of Chris Tall, which was in
yes.
Different band.
Your band with John called Accidental Sons, who only had one album. And
all right.
Well, this boogie board is boogie board. They can do this. Watch this.
Ooh. Thorough. Thank you for watching. Love Quarantine Hearts. All right. Hope you all have a good night.
Trans.
Coming up.
Is next.